Dame Julie Andrews, DBE, born Julia Elizabeth Wells, October 1, 1935, is an English actress, singer and author. 1. Andrews, a child actress and singer, appeared in the West End in 1948 and made her Broadway debut in The Boy Friend, 1954. Billed as Britain's youngest prima donna. 2. She rose to prominence starring in Broadway musicals such as My Fair Lady, 1956, playing Eliza Doolittle, and Camelot, 1960, playing Queen Guinevere. In 1957, Andrews starred in the premiere of Rodgers and Hammerstein's written-for-television musical Cinderella, a live, network broadcast seen by over 100 million viewers. Andrews made her feature film debut in Mary Poppins, 1964, and won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in the title role. She starred in The Sound of Music, 1965, playing Maria von Trapp, and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Motion Picture Comedy or Musical. Between 1964 and 1986, she starred in the Americanization of Emily, 1964, Hawaii, 1966, Torn Curtain, 1966, Thoroughly Modern Millie, 1967, Star. 1968, The Tamarind Seed, 1974, 10, 1979, SOB, 1981, Victor/Victoria, 1982, That's Life. 1986, and Duet for One, 1986. After 1986, her workload decreased, appearing in 2 films in 1991, and not again until 2000. Since the turn of the new millennium, however, her career has had a revival, with central roles in the Shrek series as Queen Lillian, in The Princess Diaries and its sequel as Queen Clarice Rinaldi, and in the Despicable Me series as Gru's mother Marlena. She has also worked hosting performance shows such as Great Performances and narrating documentaries such as the 2004 Emmy-winning series Broadway, the American Musical. In 2000, Andrews was made a dame by Queen Elizabeth II for services to the performing arts. In 2002, she was ranked number 59 in the BBC's poll of the 100 Greatest Britons. In 2003, she revisited her first Broadway success, this time as a stage director, with a revival of The Boy Friend. From 2001 to 2004, Andrews starred in The Princess Diaries, 2001, and The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, 2004. From 2004 to 2018, she lent her voice to the Shrek animated films, Despicable Me, 2010, and Aquaman, 2018. Andrews has won an Academy Award, a BAFTA, 5 Golden Globes, 3 Grammys, 2 Emmys, the AFI Life Achievement Award, the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award, the Kennedy Center Honors Award, and the Disney Legends Award. Apart from her musical career, she is also an author of children's books and has published 2 autobiographies, Home, a memoir of my early years, 2008, and Homework, a memoir of my Hollywood years, 2019. Julia Elizabeth Wells III, was born on October 1, 1935 in Walton-on-Thames, Surrey, England. 4-5, her mother, Barbara Ward Wells, née Morris, 1910 to 1984, was born in Chertsey 6, and married Edward Charles Ted Wells, 1908 to 1990, a teacher of metalwork and woodwork, in 1932. 7. Andrews was conceived as a result of an affair her mother had with a family friend. Andrews discovered her true parentage from her mother in 1950, 8-9, although it was not publicly disclosed until her 2008 autobiography. 10. With the outbreak of World War II, Barbara and Ted Wells went their separate ways and were soon divorced. Each remarried, Barbara to Ted Andrews, in 1943, 11, and Ted Wells in 1944, 12, to Winifred Maud Hyde Birkhead, a war widow and former hairstylist working a lathe at a war work factory that employed them both in Hinchley Wood, Surrey. 8-9-13, Ted Wells assisted with evacuating children to Surrey during the Blitz, while Barbara joined Ted Andrews in entertaining the troops through the Entertainment's National Service Association, ENSA. Andrews lived briefly with Ted Wells and her brother John 14, in Surrey. In 1940, Ted Wells sent young Julia to live with her mother and stepfather, whom the elder Wells thought would be better able to provide for his talented daughter's artistic training. According to Julie Andrews' 2008 autobiography Home, while Julie had been used to calling Ted Andrews Uncle Ted, her mother suggested it would be more appropriate to refer to her stepfather as Pop, while her father remained dad or daddy to her. Julie disliked this change. The Andrews family was very poor and they lived in a bad slum area of London, Andrews recalled, adding, "That was a very black period in my life." According to Andrews, her stepfather was violent and an alcoholic. 10. Ted Andrews twice, while drunk, tried to get into bed with his stepdaughter, resulting in Andrews fitting a lock on her door. 10. As the stage career of Ted and Barbara Andrews improved, they were able to afford better surroundings, first to Beckenham and then, as the war ended, back to the Andrews hometown of Hersham. The Andrews family took up residence at the Old Mews, in West Grove, Hersham, a house, now demolished, where Andrews' maternal grandmother had served as a maid. 9. Andrews' stepfather sponsored lessons for her, first at the independent arts educational school Cone Ripman School, now known commonly as Arts Ed, in London, and thereafter with concert soprano and voice instructor Madame Lillian Stiles Allen. "She had an enormous influence on me," Andrews said of Stiles Allen, adding, "She was my third mother. I've got more mothers and fathers than anyone in the world." In her memoir Julie Andrews, My Star Pupil, Stiles Allen records, "The range, accuracy and tone of Julie's voice amazed me. She had possessed the rare gift of absolute pitch." 15:22 Though Andrews herself refutes this in her 2008 autobiography Home. 8:16, according to Andrews, "Madame was sure that I could do Mozart and Rossini, but, to be honest, I never was." 15:24 Of her own voice, she says, "I had a very pure, white, thin voice, a 4-octave range, dogs would come from miles around." 15:24 After Cone Ripman School, Andrews continued her academic education at the nearby Woodbrook School, a local state school in Beckenham. 17. Beginning in 1945, and for the next 2 years, Julie Andrews performed spontaneously and unbilled on stage with her parents. "Then came the day when I was told I must go to bed in the afternoon because I was going to be allowed to sing with Mummy and Pop in the evening," Andrews explained. She would stand on a beer crate to sing into the microphone, sometimes a solo or as a duet with her stepfather, while her mother played piano. "It must have been ghastly, but it seemed to go down all right." 1819. Petula Clark recalls touring round Britain by train to sing for the troops with Andrews, who was 3 years younger. They slept in the luggage racks. Clark said it was fun, and not a lot of kids were having fun. 20. Julie Andrews gained her big break when her stepfather introduced her to Val Parnell, whose Moss Empires controlled prominent venues in London. Andrews made her professional solo debut at the London Hippodrome singing the difficult aria Jesu's Titania from Mignon as part of a musical revue called Starlight Roof on October 22, 1947. She played the Hippodrome for 1 year. 821, of Starlight Roof, Andrews recalled, "There was this wonderful American person and comedian, Wally Bogue, who made balloon animals. He would say, 'Is there any little girl or boy in the audience who would like one of these?' And I would rush up on stage and say, 'I'd like one, please.' And then he would chat to me and I'd tell him I sang. I was fortunate in that I absolutely stopped the show cold. I mean, the audience went crazy." 22.